Or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Hello, I'm Earl Stewart. I welcome you to Earl Stewart on Cars, a live talk show all about how to buy, lease, maintain, or repair your car without being ripped off by a car dealer. With me in the studio is Nancy Stewart, my wife, co-host, and a strong consumer advocate, especially for our female listeners. We also have Rick Kearney, an expert on how to keep your car running right. I dare you to ask a question that Rick can't answer about the mechanics or electronics of your car. Also with us is my son, Stu Stewart. Our link to cyberspace through Facebook, YouTube, text messaging, and our encrypted anonymous feedback service. Stu is also the Spymaster Director of our Mystery Shopping Report. He dispatches our secret shopper weekly to an unsuspecting car dealership. And now, on with the show. Good morning, everybody. Well, we're back. We're in the studio. It's Valentine's Day, and it's a day of our love for you and cars, and that's why we're here. You just heard my recorded announcement, and we're going to try to cut to the chase today, this morning. We're a 2-hour show, and boy, that 2 hour flies fast. We have in the studio Rick Kearney, who is arguably one of the most knowledgeable guys when it comes to automobiles, whether you're talking combustion, electric, autonomous. This guy has got the answer for you. So if you're driving a car, and most of you are, or you probably wouldn't be listening to the show, give Rick a call. You'll hear this number too often, but radio says we got to do it, because people don't listen to the radio for 2 hours. They listen for 15 minutes, and they got to have the number. And that number to call to speak to Rick Kearney or Nancy Stewart or me, that number is 877-960-9960. Again, because I know that was too fast for you. You're probably doing 95 down I-95. I hope not, but probably 75 down I-95. That number, if you'd like to call the show later, we're on from 8 to 10 Eastern Standard Time, so that number is 877-960-9960. Am I driving you crazy? You ain't seen nothing yet. 877-960-9960. Nancy Stewart, my co-host, will pick up the phone, or actually see the phone call, and then one of us will talk to you, Rick, or me, or Nancy, and you ask whatever question you want. 877-960-9960. Now, Nancy, I'm going to introduce right now. As I said before, she is the co-host, but she's also a very passionate female advocate for you ladies out there in the audience. And we know that half of you are female that are listening to this, and we want to stick to half of you calling the show to incentivize you, motivate you to call the show. You ladies, Nancy Stewart is going to give you a very special incentive. It sounds too good to be true, but it is true. Nancy,
Good
the
morning,
microphone
everyone.
is all yours.
Good morning, good morning. Can you feel it? Can you feel the energy, the passion? Love's in the air. And guess who we love? You. Because you are an important part of the show. And every moment we spend on the air, we all want to save you from, well, some of the crazy stuff that goes on out there with these places to buy vehicles, car dealers, whatever you want to call them. So, ladies, give us a call, 877-960-9960. Why? Because I have a special gift for you this morning, $100. Yeah. Last week it was $50, but we're sharing all the love this morning by gifting you a $100 Amazon gift card, first 2 new lady callers, $100 gift card. Give us a call toll free at 877-960-9960. For everyone, if you're going to be listening throughout the 2 hours and you'll catch the Mystery Shopping Report, you can use this text number to vote. We love hearing from you. 772-497-6530. Earl mentioned when he introduced all of us, including Consumer Report, this 2026 auto issue is amazing. It's amazing because everything is on the rise for one reason or another. And if you can pick this auto issue up, I'm telling you, it is quite an investment. You will be using it forever, well, throughout 2026. You know, one of the things that caught my eye is one of my pet peeves, and that's rising insurance rates. And, you know, there's some of us that take and pay our insurance policy like it's a bill instead of investigating and instead of researching, because insurance rates, you can really save so much money by doing just that, you know, researching, not paying your insurance policy like it's a bill. You know that auto insurance is rising, and driving, well, because drivers suddenly got worse. Is it rising because cars got much more expensive to fix? I think so. You know, today's vehicles have so much on them, so many safety features. You can take into consideration the radar sensors, blind spot monitoring. I don't have to name all of them, but it costs a lot to repair these vehicles. Did you know that as much let's take a bumper, for instance. Did you know that it used to cost $900? $900. The cost of that has gone up $4,000 to $7,000. Research it. You'll find that I'm absolutely right. And just recalibrating the sensors on a vehicle. Let's talk about labor. So don't treat that insurance policy like as if it's a bill. Take and dissect it as often as you can. Things change, and there's so much out there that can help you to reduce your cost of insurance. 877-960-9960. You can text us at 772-497-6530. And don't forget your anonymousfeedback.com. We're going to go straight to John in Palm City. Good morning, John.
Good morning. Well, happy Valentine's Day. I just want to talk about a brand that I admired, always admired it. And Earl and I grew up, I call it in the roaring 50s. The brand is Cadillac. Cadillac, for years, was the number one American luxury car. Started probably, well, for 10 years, they had an optional V16 engine from 1930 to 1940. But in 1953, when I started high school, most expensive car in America was a 53 Eldorado, $7,750. Regular Cadillac convertible was almost half that. 57, the Eldorado was $10,000. It was called a Brougham, stainless steel roof, $10,000 at that time. Now I think they outdid themselves. Last year, they came out with a new luxury model. It's called, nobody probably ever heard of it, Celestig, Celestig. It's an EV, four-door sedan, hand-assembled, hand-painted, a range of 303 miles, 0 to 60 in less than 4 seconds. Sit down for the price. They start at, you can order them today, they start at $350,000.
Wow.
Depending on equipment that you buy. So as much as I love Cadillac, I think this time I really think that they outdid themselves because I don't think there's many people in the market to buy a brand new Cadillac at $350,000 plus.
Wow.
So I just thought I'd mention that, but it's available. I haven't seen one of them yet except for pictures, and it came out last year. And I just think that's going a little bit too far. That's limited mileage.
I agree.
Like that.
Hey, John, do you think that they're, trying to go after Rolls-Royce?
I really don't know what they
And
have
Bentley.
in mind. They've made a lot of mistakes with sports cars and things through the years.
It
and
sounds
that
like they're
failed.
pretty serious.
Yes. But it's available and it's out. But I doubt if I'll be seeing one on the road.
Hey, John, I just pulled it up on Google real quick. It
Yes.
says it's a custom-commissioned, hand-built, extraordinarily rare, ultra-luxury sedan starting at the low 400,000s.
Now it went up since it came out in last year. It went up again.
Yep.
Well,
wow.
That's
That
unbelievable.
is... Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, I just thought I'd mention because even my friends that are ardent car collectors, and they said, "Oh, I never heard of that, John. Where'd you get that from?"
Well, I tell you what, and John, you'll agree with this. If you were smart and you were collecting cars intelligently over the years, I think you'd beat the stock market in terms of appreciation.
Well, again, I question that for one reason, because I tell you what, I was shocked in January at the Meacham auction. There's a 62 Ferrari. Sold, sit down for this one, $35 million. Now, that same car in 2014 at an auction in California sold for $34.6 million.
Oh.
And that's a hell of a bad investment if you had $34 million
Yeah.
and you waited till this year
You're
to
right.
resell it. So I question people with, certain products,
Yeah.
certain cars that they want to collect.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you have to buy them sooner than everybody else. If everybody realizes, that it's a rare car, then you pay all the money. If you buy them, timing is everything.
Well, shocking to me that anybody, I don't care what it is, no matter how rich, that would pay $35 million for an automobile. I want several
You've
houses
made me
at
laugh,
$35
John.
million.
You've made me laugh.
Well, John,
You know,
think about this. You and I can't grasp this because we've been around too long. But when we were young, if a guy was a millionaire, he had a lot of money. Today, you got to be a billionaire, and a billion is 1,000 million. So a guy that's got 1,000 million doesn't care about paying 35 million for a car. So it's all equal. It's just a question of 2026 versus 1947, which is when you and I were hanging around.
Yes.
and
I
you
agree
know
with
what,
you.
John? Let me put things in perspective. You really made me laugh. You really did. Because if you put things in perspective right now, Cadillac, think about it. They're no longer going over Mercedes or Lexus. They haven't. That's over and done with. They're going over. They're going for the big fish. They're going for Bentley. They're going for Rolls-Royce. And another thing, I read where no two vehicles are alike. They are unique. So that's another add-on. But $350,000?
400. Wow. Well,
Yikes.
Earl is going to take you to the nearest Cadillac dealer, and for Valentine's Day, he's ordering a brand new one for Nancy. Happy Valentine's Day.
Earl knows
Thank
what
you,
I
John.
want for Valentine's Day.
He might even get a discount.
Yeah.
No, he knows what I want for Valentine's Day.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
he does.
Breakfast at Breakers Hotel, lunch and supper.
No, not at all. I'm just a small town girl. Listen, John, we love hearing from
Yes.
you.
I'm
To
like
you
I'm
and your
going to-
beautiful wife, happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, we're going to John G's today for lunch
Oh, now,
in Manalapan.
there you go.
All right.
Exactly.
All right, guys.
Nice.
Okay.
Have a great
Take
weekend.
Care. Bye now.
Our number here is 877-960-9960. And you can text us at 772-497-6530. Ladies, have you ever been talked down to? Have you just felt like getting up and leaving the dealership because so many things were going wrong? And you thought for a moment that these people, well, they were in charge. No, I'm sorry. Even just walking out, don't walk out, stay. Let your voice be heard. Stand up. Give us a call this morning. You can win yourself a $100 gift card, Amazon gift card this morning. We don't normally have a $100 gift card, but for Valentine's Day we do. And it's the first 2 new lady callers. You can call us at 877-960-9960, or you can text us. That's for the Mystery Shopping Report and any other way you want to get in touch with us. But ladies, you have to use that number, that toll-free number. So you can go text us at 772-497-6530. Your anonymous feedback is always very popular, very popular. Take advantage of that. I'm losing my voice.
Oh, boy.
Rick says it's because it's so dry.
Oh, boy.
He's supplying us with tissues, cough drops. He's got his medicine cabinet with him. Now we're going to go to Dan, and Dan is calling us from Coral Springs. Good morning, Dan.
Good morning, Nancy. Good morning, everyone. Happy Valentine's.
Happy Valentine's Day.
So I had a question. Last month, I went ahead and I purchased a 2025 Lincoln Nautilus, and I did what you guys suggested as far as I bought in January because I knew they had leftover 25s on the lot. So I went ahead, and I got various discounts and so forth. So I felt good about that. Now, what I did differently this time was that I went ahead and got a hybrid turbo on my new vehicle. In the last 10 years, I've been driving a Toyota Camry, and it was just a regular gas car and so forth. So this time I said to myself, let me try something different. Let me try the hybrid with the turbo. And so my question to Rick and everyone is just basically, I know there's certain car care as far as, letting it warm up like 10 or 20 seconds before, even though it has an electric start, it starts immediately, but just to wait like 10, 20 seconds before I would start driving. But my question is, I'm looking at the thermostat, and in my old car with the Toyota, it would start off like at 25% as far as being cold. But this one, I'm just curious, should I be starting to put a higher acceleration when the thermostat is in the middle or at the quarter, or should I be concerned about the thermostat at all?
I wouldn't worry about it. Modern cars, the computers control everything on that engine so well, and it'll deal with the temperature and everything. So I hate to seem like this, but sometimes people get a little caught up on concerns about what the gauges are reading. As long as the gauges are not going to one extreme or the other, you're going to be just fine. The computer's going to control it all, thermostat's going to control it all. And now, even if the thermostat were to get stuck at some point, or even some of the minorest things that normally you'd never catch unless you were watching those gauges often, the computer will flag it quickly and throw on that check engine light. So as long as you're not seeing that, you shouldn't have any worries whatsoever.
Okay, and then also when I purchased the car, I did ChatGPT, and as far as regarding, it said that 90% of the time that I should have it in normal driving, and then 10% I could use like conserve gas. So I was just wondering if I started off with and always kept it on conserve gas mode as opposed to normal driving mode, is that okay, or does that hurt the car? Or should I leave it more on normal driving mode as opposed to conserve mode?
Truthfully, you're actually going to find a better response by controlling your own foot. Those things of normal and sport and eco mode, where you're pushing a button and it supposedly is resetting the way the computer operates, it only does minor little adjustments, usually on when it's going to shift the transmission. You'll actually find a much better result just by training yourself to go very gentle on accelerations. And anytime, once you get it to speed, coast the car more. And when you're anticipating that you're going to have to stop, let off the gas and just let the car coast down to a smooth stop. Avoid using the brake until you get to the very end and gently slow the car with the brake. And you will find your fuel economy will increase quite a bit. And by being more gentle on the brakes, you'll find your brakes will actually last longer, your tires will last longer, and you'll save a whole lot of money in the long run. And by being a lot more gentle on your car, you'll find that actually almost every component on the car will benefit from it. So although they've put all these buttons in, they're almost it's almost like they have a placebo effect.
Well, I think, yeah, exactly. You read my mind. I think a lot of this is more for the amusement of the driver.
Yeah.
And a lot of us, particularly people that have been driving a long time, when I got my first car and when I was younger, there were controls that were important because the cars weren't good enough and didn't have that computerized feature that where the cars today take care of themselves. And so we're used to those bells and whistles that we give us a feeling of control. So they give us the drive and the other shifts. But like Rick just said, if you leave the car alone, it'll be good to you. If you start playing with it, you're probably going to reduce the efficiency.
Yeah. But work on how you drive the car, and you'll see a nice result from it.
Yeah.
How did you drive your car,
Yeah,
Earl?
Hard.
Hey, you know what, Dan? It's funny you called because Earl and I were talking about his driving habits yesterday, and it was quite interesting. So
I agree with Rick 100%. That regenerative braking is phenomenal. I'm getting close to like 35 miles a gallon as far as on, with the electric and the gas, on because it shows you as far as, overall the MPGs. But, that's the one thing I really, really liked about this new car was the regenerative braking. I'm 100% for that. And my last question to you was since it's a turbo, once I finish driving, should I wait, 10, 20, 30 seconds before shutting it off for the turbo engine or not?
No. Once you get to where you're finished driving, maybe 2 or 3, 4 seconds at the most. But then once you shut it down, these modern turbos, the engineers have solved so many of the old problems that they had with them, like the oil issues, the bearings failing on them, and then of course the thing would just eat oil like crazy. They've gotten those solved to the point now. They've been running turbo engines in Toyotas now for like the last 3 to 4 years, and it's incredible the longevity these things have shown, that they're just not showing the issues that turbochargers used to have. So it's a breakthrough.
Yeah, yeah. Cars are better than they ever were, and people don't fully appreciate that. But I read the other day someone was pushing for 1 million miles on their vehicle. I can't even remember what vehicle it was, but I can easily see someone taking care of their vehicle hitting 1 million miles.
I've heard that the record now is over 3 million.
Wow, I hadn't heard
on
that.
one car.
Yeah.
All right, listen, everyone, thank you very much. I appreciate all your help as always, and happy Valentine's once again.
thank you,
very
Dan.
much.
Have
Thanks.
a great weekend. Happy Valentine's Day. Earlier, I was talking about insurance, car insurance on the increase. Did you know that your insurance, it doesn't matter how old you are. I'm 83. My insurance rates could be less expensive than a 25-year-old. Why? Well, I think you all know why. You have to, count up the accidents that you've had, how many tickets that you've had. It's just, it's unbelievable. Do you keep your car in the garage? Does anybody ever think about their insurance rates Earlier I mentioned, do you pay it like a bill or do you research it? I'm not talking every week research, but every couple of months, maybe every month, because things are changing so rapidly. And if you've had no accidents, no tickets, if you have low annual mileage, good credit history, stable address, yes, a stable address, that matters. What are your thoughts out there? How do you feel? Do you check your insurance rates? Have you been with the same company for years? Also, I found that Earl might disagree with this, but Erie Insurance seems to come out on top as far as, good rates. Give us a call toll free at 877-960-9960, or you can text us at 772-497-6530. Now back to the recovering car dealer.
Rick, you have been doing this for a lot of years, and what is the biggest mistake you've seen that a car owner will make when you look at a car and there's a problem, and if he had just done this, the problem wouldn't have happened?
Checking tire pressures
Really?
is one of the biggest things. I see so many cars with edge wear on the tires, and I mean, I when I first started driving in like 1980, 81, you could buy tires for $50 brand new.
Yeah.
Now that same $50 tire is close to $300.
Yep.
Tires are now $200, $250 each for just an average tire, and they wear out so fast when you don't watch your tire pressures.
Yeah.
That you're just throwing money away.
Yeah, we don't think of the tires as being part of the car, but I think arguably, if you look at it over the years, it's probably the single most expensive thing about the car.
And the most important.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, everything else on your car can function perfectly. If your tires are not in good shape, you're basically in a 2,000 to 3,000 pound missile.
Yeah.
Flying down the road at now average speeds 45 to 50 on surface streets, and on the highway 75 to 80, and that's a lot of mass going down the road, but you've got four little patches about 6 inches square.
Yeah.
That are actually keeping you in contact with the road, and that's all you have to keep you, your passengers, and all the other people around you safe.
You mentioned edge wear, but alignment, is that?
Alignment can actually have a big factor as well for tire wear, but truth be told, tire pressure, unless your alignment is like wildly out,
Yeah.
tire pressure is the more important thing to me, because anybody can get their tires checked and just adjust that pressure. You can do it every single day if you want. An alignment, you're looking at $150, $200 almost anywhere you go for an alignment.
Yeah.
And you really should only need your alignment done about once a year. It doesn't hurt to check it more often, and I would have it checked at least every 6 months.
Yeah.
Most dealerships now and most major shops have, like our shop, they recently installed this device. As you drive over this system, it has cameras and sensors that actually check your alignment just by driving over it.
Don't most cars, back on the inflation, don't most cars have a warning of underinflated or overinflated? No.
They do. Well, the tire pressure sensors will detect for underinflation very well.
Yeah.
But they're usually set to where, like, if your tire pressure is at 35 psi, and I'm using that just because it's like a standard number that's safest for most cars, that light usually doesn't trigger until you get down to about 26 pounds of air.
Yeah.
And once you get down to about 30 or below, you're actually seeing that tire start to bulge out on the edges, and the center tread is now lifting up, and you're running just on those edges, and that actually will wear that tire out so fast before that light ever comes on.
Will the tire sensor tell you if you're overinflated?
If you get to a certain pressure, and most of those is more like 60 to 65 pounds of pressure,
It will?
it will turn that light on.
Yeah.
And I've actually seen this confuse some mechanics because they walk around the car and they
Yeah,
look just like
I've never seen it.
all the tires are up. But I have seen it in a few occasions where people have drastically overinflated their tires. It will turn that light on
Yeah.
and give it a warning. Because to me, that actually is almost more dangerous because an overinflated tire,
Yeah.
if you hit a hard speed bump, a pothole, boom, that thing explodes and you're out of control.
And the other thing that I know is common on tires, I think almost all manufacturers put soft tires on their new cars. And the soft tires give you a smoother ride.
Yes.
And everybody is going to test drive a new car before they buy it, or at least they should. And they want the smoothest ride. And the manufacturers actually have a special tire built for that new car. You cannot buy that tire, only the manufacturer. Am I right?
Yep.
So here you are, you got your brand new car, but what you have is a car that's going to give you poor mileage on your tires. It'll be soft, a smooth ride, but you'll get probably 25 or 30% less mileage on those tires than if you move the tire index, what do they call it?
The tread wear rating?
Tread wear, yeah.
Well, it's actually not even the tread wear rating because you'll see that rating will be normal on the tires that come on the car from the factory. But it's just they make the compound just a little softer. So when you get in that car and you drive off the lot, it feels like that luxurious new car. And then when you go to replace those tires, you've gotten so used to how the car feels now on the road that most people, like 98% of people, never even notice the difference in ride quality when they replace the tires and get a harder compound tire that will last a lot longer.
Most people think in terms of brand name. They want a Goodyear. Nancy,
Yes,
you're raising your hand.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to interrupt the boys and tell you that, what Rick and Earl were talking about, do you realize this is the most important, taking care of your tires? And if you're not checking your pressure at least once a month, you can expect a lot of negative things to happen. Did you know that if you stop, let's see, let me put this in context that you can understand. You can stop as well as the rubber touching the road. Does that make any sense to you? So in other words, your pressure, if you have checked the door jamb sticker and you follow those instructions as to what your pressure should be, you shouldn't have any problem. And a car can only stop as well as the rubber touching the road. That's extremely important. And Rick couldn't have put it any better. And rotating tires every 5,000 to 7,000 miles, very, very important. So I hope that all of you out there that are listening will give us a call at 877-960-9960, and you'll let us know your thoughts about rising insurance rates, the tires that we just talked about. And ladies, I know you're out there. I'd like to hear from you. $100 Amazon gift card, the first 2 new lady callers. So, and also back to tires, watch tread depth. Get that penny out. Take care of your tires. Your tires will take care of you. Now back to the guys.
Well, one thing I want to ask is we'd love to see or hear your critique of the show. And we've started, thanks to Iggy in the control room here, he sends us a copy of every show every week. And we feed it to youranonymousfeedback.com and say, give us some constructive criticism as to how we can improve. So we'd like to ask you to help us improve. And if you think that Rick or Nancy or I can do something better, less of something, more of something, different material. Give us feedback on youranonymousfeedback.com. If you want to just call us and tell us, that's acceptable too. You're not going to hurt our feelings. We want to get better, but we have the anonymous feedback line for people that would rather not, be embarrassed by saying, Earl, I think you talk too much. Believe me, I can handle it. Your anonymous feedback, as a matter of fact, ChatGPT told me I talk too much and I'm trying to cut back. So if you'll, youranonymousfeedback.com, critique Rick or Nancy or me, and we can tweak the show and make it better for you and more informative.
Yeah, we're both pretty thick-skinned, so if I need redirection, if I need to cut it back a bit, whatever you think, I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. Tell it like it is. 877-960-9960. Back to tires. Did you know that heat destroys the tires faster than the mileage? Yeah. So it's so important that you take care of your tires, and one major reason, it keeps you safe. It keeps you safe. There's so many win-wins in taking care of your tires. I don't have time to go into it, and I'm sure Rick doesn't. Or maybe you could add something to what I said about heat and how it destroys your tires.
I look forward to the day when they perfect. Now, there are companies working on this right now. A 3D printed, non-inflated tire. It's actually going to have like a web work of support inside the tire. Mm-hmm. And the idea for this is that when the tread finally wears away, you replace the tire with a new one, but they take the old tire, send it to a company, and they simply print more tread on the outside of this tire, basically recycling it and bringing it back to life, versus the idea that all the old tires, well, not all, because a lot of old tires are recycled and the rubber is used elsewhere, but most of the old tires that we take off of cars now wind up in a tire dump somewhere.
Yeah, I'm going to jump in here.
It's a huge
I'm going to jump in
environmental
here.
issue.
I think we've beat tires to death.
Okay, well,
and I'm going to be.
Probably.
You're the
I'm going
boss.
to criticize our own show.
Okay.
I think we've talked about tires.
I think the closing line here is that tires are like old shoes, and when the shoes wear out, they wear out. So every 6 years, get rid of those tires, or if they need replacing before then. 877-960-9960. Remember, it's Valentine's Day. You're looking at me with fire. That's okay. I can handle it. 877-960-9960. Text us at 772-497-6530. Don't forget, youranonymousfeedback.com. We are going to go to our first new female caller from Coral Springs. Her name is Ashley. Good morning, Ashley, and welcome.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
We're well, thank you. Great to hear from you, Ashley. You won yourself a $100 gift card from Amazon for being the first female caller this morning, new female caller. We usually give out $50, but because of Valentine's Day, it's going to be $100.
Oh, okay. That's fantastic. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. When we're finished talking, just stay on the line and talk to Jeremy in the control room. He'll take care of it.
Okay. Very cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. What can we do for you?
Well, so I was thinking about getting my windows tinted, and so my dad said you guys were the people to call, and I had 3 options based on what I could research, and I was curious about your thoughts if I should just get like a standard film, ceramic, or the carbon.
Uh-huh.
Rick,
what are your thoughts on that? That's a great topic, Ashley. That's a great topic, and it's a very practical decision to make, especially in Florida.
Well,
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to make a confession here. I am not very knowledgeable on window films, on window tint. I would actually consider my first stop right along with Earl and Nancy, I'd be looking at Consumer Reports, but I would also go onto Google and I would look in to see what their recommendations are for the best types. Okay, and Earl just handed me his phone here with for Chat GPT, and according to this, they say that ceramic window tint is the best overall due to the fact that it uses nanoparticles that will block a lot of the heat and the ultraviolet radiation without making the glass super dark, and won't interfere with GPS or phone signals.
Oh.
Carbon tint is good mid-range, and dyed tints are the cheapest option. Probably would recommend stay away from dyed tints because they, like the old adage, you're going to get what you pay for.
Hey Ashley, are you looking to reduce the interior heat? Are you looking to protect your leather or your electronics? Are you looking just to reduce glare?
I think all of the above. I mean, like you said, it's Florida. It's so hot, and also just like the protection. I'm very fair skinned, so
Yeah, it's like a sunscreen for your car,
Yes.
and it protects you. There's a habit that I have with my sun visor, and depending on the direction that I'm driving, if that sun is just, heating up the side of my face, I use that sun visor a lot. You'd be surprised,
I
what
use
you
mine a
pick
lot.
up.
Yep, I agree.
And you being fair-skinned says it all.
Yep,
You need
I agree.
sunscreen inside and outside for your
Yep.
for your body and your car.
Yeah, exactly.
So how do you feel about Rick's information on the, or I should say, Earl, on the nano tint?
I
That was
learned
the
a
one I
lot.
was
I
reading, too.
think a lot of people just think I want tinted windows or I don't. But the fact that we were able to look at ChatGPT and discover the different varieties, I learned something there. I personally don't like window tint myself. I think when I see a car with very dark tinted windows, it bothers me a little bit. I think it also bothers the police. I think that you wonder, why does that guy have the windows tinted so dark? What's going on? I know it's a psychological thing, but it's the way I feel.
It's that way. It was that way a million years ago. It's still that way
Yeah.
today.
And all cars come with window tint anyway. So I think the manufacturers look at it as this is best for the car. And when you start adding window tint, even though my dealership will tint your windows for you, I don't think it's a good idea.
Well, Florida has legal limits.
Yeah.
So you have to take
Yeah.
that into consideration. Your front side windows, you can have up to, I think, 28%.
I think that's the number, yeah.
Yeah, 28%. And for your rear windows, I think it's 15%. So there's a lot of research to do here, and it used to be really cool to be driving around with some really dark window tint. Today, in this climate, in this element, and the world has turned inside out and upside down, I'm not going to ask for any attention. I love flying under the radar. So if we made this sound like as if that it's going to be a major decision for you, it really is, because it's permanent, and you want something professional. Have we
For
helped
sure.
you?
100%, more than I thought, for sure.
When I was talking about the sun visor, the driver's face is significantly, more of a sun that's going to hit anybody else in the car. It's the driver, and it's the side of your face. And with cancer and everything else out there, the driver's side of the body, it's important for you to be, looking into the sunscreen.
Yes, definitely. Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Ashley, and congratulations. Spread the word that we're, building a platform here for ladies. They're an important part of the show.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I will.
Happy Valentine's Day. Have a great weekend.
Thanks. You too. Bye-bye.
Okay, Rick.
And I just verified on Google You have those numbers exactly correct.
Oh, good. I like
28
that.
and 15.
Every once in a while. I like that. And I don't think that window tinting, depending upon where you go, is going to be expensive as it once was because it was so cool, but people are doing it aesthetically for other reasons. So it can run anywhere from $300 to $700.
Yep.
But it's really worth the investment. Ladies and gentlemen, please give us a call. We love hearing from you. What do you think about tint, our insurance that we spoke about, the tires, everything and anything, whatever you want to talk about? 877-960-9960. That's 877-960-9960. And you can text us at 772-497-6530. Don't forget youranonymousfeedback.com. We're going to go to Tennessee. We have callers from all over the place. This is a special caller. Her name is Laurie, and she is a first-time caller. Good morning, Laurie.
Good morning.
Welcome, and congratulations for being the second female new caller. You won yourself a $100 Amazon gift card.
Great.
Stay on the line when we're finished talking and give your information to Jeremy in the control room.
Okay.
What can we do for you this morning?
I have a couple of questions. I own a 23 Toyota Crown, and the dashboard material scratches so easily that I don't know how to clean that. And the second problem I've got, it's not a problem, it's just an irritant, is the sound that car makes when you don't fasten the seatbelt is so annoying. Is there any way to turn that off or turn it down?
Unfortunately, no. For turning off the seatbelt chime, that's a federal requirement. And it will, it used to be that the chime would turn off after a while, but now they've got it where after about, I think it's 20 or 30 seconds, it actually gets louder and faster. So the best way is simply put the seatbelt on.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about cleaning that dashboard?
Toyota pretty much recommends just a simple damp cloth with a very mild, non-abrasive cleaner. Commercial products out there for dashboards would be just fine, used in sparing, very tiny amounts. Myself, I would simply recommend some microfiber cloths like you can get off of Amazon. They're very inexpensive for a huge pack of them. And just use that with just a little bit of water spritzed on the cloth itself, and then just gently wipe it down. Unfortunately, some of the plastics and materials that they're using, just they scratch so easily, and they deteriorate over time. It's one of those things where, the manufacturers, all of them, not just Toyota, but all of them across the board, they're looking for ways to try to save money. Because it's, like they say, it's all about the almighty dollar. And unfortunately, we're the ones that pay the price with it.
And Ashley, in Florida, literally the UV light is cooking. It is cooking your dash. And like Rick said, they've changed the materials on the dashboard. And we've had so many complaints about dashboards, and sometimes they're covered under warranty. And Earl has worked with a lot of the callers on this subject, but the Toyota Crown dashboard, it's the warping, the bubbling, the fading, the cracking. There's so many issues with it, but as I said, due to the UV light that literally cooks the dash, there's things that you can do, to help protect it, as Rick said.
Yeah, Earl was able to find on ChatGPT the Toyota TechStream software that we use at the dealership. On a lot of models, you can disable the chime. What it'll do is actually change it from a continuous beep down to just a few beeps when you first start the car. And it says also there's a Bluetooth OBD2 adapter called Carista that may let you turn off the seatbelt reminder chime.
Okay.
Myself, I'm one of those that I'm always erring on the side of safety. And to me, although it is possible to turn off that annoying chime, the safest thing really is to wear the seatbelt.
Well, I do, but when you're coming into the garage area, you're waiting for your garage door to go open. You just automatically unhook the seatbelt so that when you pull in, you're quickly able to get out of the car. But that sound goes off, and it's like, oh my gosh!
I totally agree with you, Lori, and I don't like the Big Brother aspect of some manufacturers where they have to tell me what I got to do, and
Right.
and so if you're old enough to drive and you pass your driver's test and you can afford to buy a car, you can afford to make your own decisions about what you want to have turned on and turned off. And if you want to be stupid and turn something off, you shouldn't. That's your right. So I'm like you. I'm glad that there is a way to have it done. You bring it into a Toyota dealer, and they might even ask you to sign a waiver, which I'd be happy to sign to turn off that annoying charm, because I do wear my seatbelt, but I just don't like the chime like you.
Exactly. Yeah, I wear mine all the time.
Yeah.
Now,
I don't need them reminding me.
I can give you one solution that it would require a stop at a Toyota dealership, but it would cost you nothing. And if you stop in and ask them for a seatbelt extender and just ask for the shortest one they have, for us people like myself that are, shall we say, a little on the large side, a little on the fluffy side, they're intended to make the seatbelt fit a little bigger so that for those of us with some size, it's more comfortable. What you do is simply plug that in to the seatbelt portion that's down by your right side hip, and then plug the seatbelt into it when you take the seatbelt on and off. But if you leave that extender plugged into the seatbelt next to the seat, it'll turn the chime off continuous forever.
Gotcha. Good idea.
You didn't hear that one from me, but it does work that way.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, Larry. Happy Valentine's Day. Congratulations. Please spread the word. Let everyone know that we at Earl Stewart on Cars is building a platform for the ladies. They're an important part of this industry. Financially, the auto industry would fail if they didn't have us. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to go to Jake, and Jake is calling from Boca. But, I have an idea. Is there ladies out there that are listening and say, damn, I just didn't get a chance to call Earl Stewart on Cars. They just gave away $200 and Amazon gift cards. All they want is for me to call, be part of the show. Guess what? I'm giving out another $100 gift card from Amazon for the next new female caller. Give us a call toll free, 877-960-9960. Jake, good morning.
Hi, good morning, guys. Good to talk to you. Remember years ago, the bars used to have women's night? You should have like a men's show. Give us a couple of bucks.
Memories.
So I'm on the Toyota website, and under the Prius, because I've been looking at the Prius car, it's showing impressive power, and it shows all-wheel drive models. But yet, every dealer I go to, it doesn't offer that. And when you go into the Toyota site to build one of the Priuses, even the plug-in kind, it also doesn't offer all-wheel drive. So does it offer all-wheel drive according to the website, where it says impressive power when you scroll down, or it doesn't offer all-wheel drive?
And while Rick is looking for that, if you're in Florida, all the cars in Florida and the 5 southeastern states come from Southeast Toyota, which is a distributorship for the main company, Toyota. So sometimes the main company will build accessories, as maybe the one that you just mentioned, and the dealers in Southeast Florida, Georgia, Alabama, North Carolina, South Carolina, we don't get those cars. Rick might be able to answer that now.
Yeah. It is listed as a feature available for them. I'm looking right now to see if I can do a build your own type through our dealership just to see if it's possible. Let me take a quick moment here.
Can I ask you another question while you're looking?
Sure.
So some of them come with it says solar roof. Is that only in the plug-ins or is that also in the hybrid? I mean, yes.
I believe the solar roof is available on all. It's an option on certain models, but it is an option available.
And another thing that has to do with that, so with the plug-in, I know it says it's got a bigger battery than the regular hybrid. So the hybrid recharges when you drive. Does the plug-in only get charged when you plug it in?
No, like all Priuses, it will charge while you're driving and uses the regenerative braking basically to help recharge the battery. So that's on all of our hybrids. Basically, have you ever driven in the mountains and when you're coming down the side of the mountain, you shift into a lower gear and it slows the car down?
Yes.
All right, you're using what's called engine drag or engine braking, and regenerative braking works the same way. It actually uses the electric motors that normally drive the car, switches them into generators, so the wheels are now turning that generator, creating electricity that it puts back into the battery to recharge that battery. So that basically gives it the ability to, recharge that battery while you're driving.
Oh, okay. And one more thing, if I may. I noticed it offers a tire repair kit. Does that mean if you want a temporary donut, that's like an option when you go to the dealership?
The temporary donut has actually been discontinued on some of the models, and all they really offer is that silly little repair kit. And this coming from an auto mechanic, if you use any sort of you get stuck with a flat tire, use the air pump only to fill the tire and see if it will still hold air long enough to get you down the road. Do not use the little thing of the slime, the tire slime that they want you to try to inject into it, because not only will that render the tire unrepairable, it will destroy the tire pressure sensor as well. And they don't tell you that part. So, what you definitely want to do is use only the compressor to add some power back, add some air back into it. Let's see. Okay, we have the all-wheel drive is available on trims like the LE, the XLE, Nightshade, and Limited Prius. And you cannot get the SE Prius as an all-wheel drive in the U.S. So, basically what you'd have to do is actually order that from whatever dealership to try to order that as as that option.
I see. Okay, that's cool. I just want to say I sat in one of them at one of the dealerships close to my house, and the seat was so comfortable. It was like a car from the 70s. It was like my old Ford LTD. It was so soft. I loved that seat in that Prius.
We'll get you to do a commercial for us.
That'll get your attention, won't it?
Well,
having a comfortable seat. Wow.
Yes, and it was vented also, and it had JBL stereo. It has everything I'm looking for in the car.
Wow, you could sleep in your car.
Those days are over.
Thanks.
But thank you.
Thank you,
and
Jake.
Thank you for your show again. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Stay tuned. They're going to listen to Jake next week. He promised me he was going to be calling. As far as the Prius, the solar roof, Rick, does it power the car while it's being driven or only when it's parked?
No, the solar roof really only produces enough power to power up the 12-volt battery a little bit extra. And They actually had a feature on, what year was this? I think it was the 2012 body style Prius. They had an option for a solar panel roof at that time that was very short lived, but the idea of it was that the solar panel roof actually powered some fan inside the car so that it would circulate air in the car and blow it out of the car, thereby helping keep the interior of your car several degrees cooler. Mm-hmm. So like here in South Florida, middle of summertime, you walk out to your car, you open the door when it's been sitting in the sun all day, and you get hit with an oven-like blast. Mm. Well, this would actually drop the air temperature in your car by up to 10 degrees and bring it much closer to the outside air temperature. So when you opened your door, you didn't get hit with that blast of air. It was actually much cooler than it normally would be. And it didn't cost any extra power because you were using sunlight to make that battery make that fan work.
Ventilation's important.
Yeah.
Our number here is 877-960-9960, and you can text us at 772-497-6530. Take advantage of your anonymous feedback. Would love to hear from you. We're going to go to Tricia, and she's a regular caller. Good morning, Trish.
Good morning. Love, light, and laughter to all you beautiful people there today on a happy Valentine's Day. That's for first and foremost.
Happy Valentine's Day from all of us.
Yes, to all of you. I couldn't call 15 minutes ago, but could I talk about the window tinting that you started?
Anything you want to talk about, Trish? Anything.
Thank you. Actually, I do have the darkest window tinting that you could get. Probably, I know it is illegal, but I wanted it to protect my skin, actually. Not only to keep the car cool, but also to protect my skin. Also, on top of that, Nancy, I also use a stick-on window shade on the driver's side when, even though I have dark window tinting, the light still comes through and bothers me. So I use a stick-on shade when it gets when it's really sunny out. Okay. The only thing I don't recommend is very dark on the back window. I had that. I felt that was very dangerous because I couldn't see out the back. So I had that changed to the lightest. But to get by, the little trick to get by the dark illegal shade is to get a note from your doctor, because I was stopped once by a cop, and they had these measuring devices to.
So you're saying that you got an okay from your dermatologist, and you presented that when you were stopped?
No, I didn't have it at the time, but the cop told me, this was illegal. Better be careful. You might get a ticket for it. So, to prevent it in the future, I called my dermatologist. So I'm just suggesting other people could do this. And she actually wrote me a prescription note, not a letter. It's on a prescription, and it says, patient is using tint to prevent excessive sun damage, skin cancer, and hyperpigmentation. And I have that saved in my glove compartment. So hopefully that will get me out of any ticket.
Tricia, I can't tell you how many people are listening to you right now and how beneficial your information that you just brought to light. We didn't know that. I mean, I've received a script for my hot tub for medical reasons, but this is so telling because the UV light that you're subjected to when you're driving, especially the driver, is unrepairable. Yes, Earl?
Yes.
Yeah, the UV is what damages the skin, and the darker tint isn't what protects you from the UV. You can have a light tint that will screen out 99% of the ultraviolet rays. And I'm sure your dermatologist would confirm that it's the ultraviolet that damages your skin.
Yeah.
The dark component is not what protects it.
Right. I don't need the dermatologist to tell me that.
Yeah.
But I know, most people think if it's a cloudy day, you're not going to get, UV and be exposed to skin cancer. Well, we all know, that's the total opposite. So, yes, it's the UV. So I'm preventing that. I'm preventing the dark spots on my skin. I actually do have beautiful skin because I do go out of my way, Nancy, to protect my skin in many ways. I'm with sunscreen on my skin every day. I even have sunscreen in my car. I use a special serum, a sunscreen in the car. And this actually, Earl, I wish I knew. The only thing I didn't know is that you could have the lighter tint that protects the UV rays. That
Sure.
I didn't know. So now you're telling me something new that I didn't know.
Yeah, a 50% ceramic tint will block 99% of the UV.
Okay, good. But also I use it for the light, because sometimes it's kind of bright
Yeah,
on that side if the sun is shining. So that's one reason why I use that. And then the stick-on shades that I get. So that's what I'm saying. If to get by it, you can get a note from your dermatologist. They should be able to cooperate with you.
Trish, what you spoke about as far as maintenance is concerned, it takes time. Maintenance is extremely important, and you can use it in so many different ways. And what you just mentioned, it's learned behavior. I learned this behavior from my mother when I was probably about 14 years old. And not everyone was listening when my mother was talking, and I'm very happy that I was. These UV rays that you're subjected to in the car, as you mentioned, all the things that you suggested, all the things that you do, it's imperative that you do it because the spots that you pick up, let's not even talk about the cancer, they're forever. They're your friend forever.
Yes.
And through the years, I've wanted to ask a question whenever we started building the female caller. Are there more men or are there more women that say, oh boy, I got these UV rays and they're all over me. I need to protect my skin when I'm driving? I don't think so. I think that maybe there's more women.
Men don't care, and they should. Right?
In defense of men, there are more men today that are really taking care of themselves all the way around. They're saying to themselves, this special maintenance, I can take 5 minutes, take care of myself. Tricia, it was great talking to you, as always, and thank you so much. I will be in touch with my doctor so that I can protect myself. You have a great weekend. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day again. Thank you.
Bye-bye. We're going to go to Christine, who's calling from Lake Worth. And no, we're going to go to Leah. And Leah is a first-time caller. Good morning, Leah.
Good morning. How are you?
We're well, thank you. Did you hear me extend the $100 to the ladies that were listening just a couple minutes ago?
No, ma'am, I did not.
Well, that's okay. I'm very glad that you're listening to Earl Stewart on Cars. Leah, this morning you won yourself a $100 gift Amazon card. If you stay on the line, you can talk to Jeremy. He'll get your information, and bam, you got your $100 gift card.
Oh, wow, thank you.
You're welcome. Leah, what can we do for you this morning?
Well, I had a question. I just got a new car. It's a Kia K4. And right now I'm trying to just learn more about how it works and just a little bit more so I can be knowledgeable. So more specifically, for the tire pressure, is there a specific tire pressure for different cars, or does it depend on the tires? Is that something I should worry about?
Rick, what kind of a car is she driving?
Kia K4.
Oh, Kia.
Yeah.
I'm a little hard of hearing, Leah.
Oh, sorry about that.
Not a problem. If you look on the driver's side door jamb, when you open the door, where right next to where your seat is, there's usually going to be a little sticker on the body of the car there that will tell you what the manufacturer's recommended tire pressure is. And you never want to go below that number. Always keep it at that pressure, or maybe 2 to 3 pounds over that pressure. But that's the best tire pressure that the manufacturer recommends for your tires.
Okay, and you said it's on the driver's side?
Yep. When you open the door, just look where the seat is. Look on the body of the car, the door jamb area there, and you'll usually see that sticker right there.
Okay.
What kind of
perfect. Thank
pressure are
so
you
much.
using now, Leo?
That's a great question. I have to go to my car and look.
But my point was that, using 33 to 35, not sure if Rick will agree with me or not, that's your power, your air pressure. That's recommended.
It's a good,
And
it's
you
a
have
good
to
starting
do it,
point.
You,
Yep.
you have to check your tires when they're cold. If you indeed check your air pressure.
I do check the pressure, and I think because I've always known about the 33 to 35. Sorry, I didn't know what you were asking. I did know about that from driving a previous car, but for this car, the pressure has been a little higher than that. So I didn't know if I should keep it at that higher pressure or what. But that's great advice to look, and I'm going to look and check as soon as I go get in my car.
That's a good idea. Hey, Leah,
Yes.
we want to thank you here at Earl Stewart on Cars for calling and helping us build the female audience. You're an important part of this show, and if you'd spread the word, we would appreciate it. Women
I will. Thank you so much.
are in the driver's seat. Thank you. Happy Valentine's Day. Have a great weekend. We're going to go to John in West Palm Beach. Good morning, John. Good morning, John.
Hey, good morning. Just wanted to add, talking about the tires and slime. There's an ad that's popping up across the media sites that people may see and just discount it, but I'm going to say don't, because it does work well. What it is if you get a nail or something in your tire and you need a quick fix, this is a little screw that has a Phillips head, that you use a Phillips head with, and this little screw, you take the nail.
John, you're breaking up a little bit.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me change that.
Could you start over?
Hold on. Hello, is this better?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, very good. All right. So anyways, this, I don't know how much you missed, but there's a little screw, and this is being advertised, something new, I guess. If you get a nail in your tire, you take the nail out, and then you take this little screw that has compound on it, and you just screw it in. It works the same as a plug, but with a plug, you have to remount the hole in everyone. This one does it. Now, remember, this is only a temporary fix. You need to get the tire fixed, patched, or whatever, or replaced. But this little screw is very simple to use. They come in two sizes, depending on the size of the hole or the nail that you picked up. And like I said, it seems like to be something new, and people look at it and say, why am I taking one screw out to replace it with another? Well, actually, this temporary screw is actually a plug, and you can do it with a Phillips head screwdriver or an electric drill.
Right. Yeah, I've seen those. Here's the major drawback on that. You're still going to have a compressor of some sort in order to put air back in the tire to get it up inflated enough so you can safely drive on it. And
correct.
The other issue is a lot of cars nowadays sit so low to the ground that if that is on the back tire, you're not going to be able to access it in most cases, because you'd have to lay on the ground and hope that screw is in a position, the nail or screw is in a spot where you can get to it to try to get the old piece out and then screw in one of these new, let's call them a tire plug screw. Yeah, and the drawback there is you've got to literally move the car around, try to get this thing into place. I would highly recommend against it because the average person is not going to be in a position where they're going to be able to do this safely. My recommendation is to leave whatever tire or nail or screw is in the tire, refill it with a compressor, and go immediately to a repair shop to have the tire repaired if it can be done so safely. Even these little screw-in plug devices, it's actually possibly going to enlarge that hole even more, and it can actually push on the steel belt radials and damage those tire belts inside and can cause that tire to later have a tread separation or damage a bubble to the tire. It can damage those belts. So my recommendation is do not disturb whatever's in the tire if you can see it. Just fill the tire with air, and if it holds that air for several minutes, drive it somewhere to get it repaired, or best option, swap to the spare and get your car somewhere to get it repaired professionally. Anything that is where you're trying to repair that tire yourself, again, the tire is your safety item, and I wouldn't take that chance myself.
Okay, like I said, this was just a quick fix, and they do sell the short, stubby Phillips heads.
Yeah.
But then again, I forget that our audience is a little bit older and may not be car savvy, such as some of us. And that but once again, for those that are, don't overlook it, because like I said at the beginning, it's only a temporary fix. And I would think that if someone's carrying around these plugs, because there's like 50 to a pack, and they come in different sizes, so you're not going to. I would think that they would have also air compressor, a little air compressor, battery operated air compressor to fill up the tire as well.
Right. See, I carry one of those in my car, just simple compressor, plugs into the power outlet. And it may take it 5 or 6 minutes to fill that tire up enough to where you can safely drive it.
Right.
But that will get you out of a situation where you can get to a repair shop and get it repaired professionally and safely.
Very good. All right, great. Hey, see you guys later. Have a great week.
Thanks, you for calling. Have a great weekend. Happy Valentine's Day. I want to mention something that was really important that Earl and I were talking about before the show, and we want to share it with you. And we were reading the latest Consumer Report about cars to avoid. There's a list, and it is an amazing Consumer Report. You need to go out and get it. But we sell Toyotas, and there is one of them is the Toyota Sequoia. But if an independent organization raises concerns about the ride, the handling, the owner satisfaction, we think you should know about it. So check out the Consumer Report and learn more about the Toyota Sequoia.
Yeah, and I've always said about the worst cars, it's a matter of preference. We're not going to tell you on this show which cars you should or shouldn't buy, except when you look at the Consumer Reports, the worst cars, it's a fairly short list. And there's thousands of cars out there to choose from. We have a Toyota dealership, but there are a bunch of other cars that are really great. Subaru, Honda. I mean, there's a lot of cars that you can buy. But if there's something you just don't want to buy, it's the worst car. So I think we're projecting on the screen now. It should a list of the worst cars. It's in the current Consumer Reports, the 2026 annual auto issue. So just don't buy the very worst car. And then the rest of the cars, if it's an okay car and you think it's gorgeous and you'd rather buy that than one that's not so attractive to you, go ahead. But please don't buy one of the cars that's on the Consumer Reports worst car list.
Good information. It was interesting that Dan earlier, one of our earlier callers, mentioned he was really in love with the driver's seat. I mean, he just went on.
Yeah.
And there are so many reasons to take a vehicle back when you just bought your vehicle
Yeah.
and you find out it just isn't the most comfortable. It's exactly the opposite. It's painful. So you got to do your homework. Knowledge is power. We're going to go to Frank. We're going to go to Frank in Jupiter Farms. Morning, Frank. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day to you all as well. As normal on a Saturday, I listen to your show, and it triggers so many different memories. One of the memories is when I was still like in high school pumping gas at Shell and US 1 for 75 cents an hour, and people would come in and I'd check their oil, check their tires, and the tire pressure thing was right there by the pump. You could fill them up. And anyway, and I guess on today's cars, which almost everyone that we have, there's a screen in your dashboard that will show the tire pressures. So there's an easy check just before you all leave the house that you can do on, say, once a week at least to see where they're reading. Of course, during the cold day, they were all down low. So that's just something that, and I guess you can tell your listening audience, just go on YouTube and, ask a question about how to check tire pressures in your particular model.
Yeah.
And they'll show you exactly which buttons to push. So that's simple. Let's see, the other thing, too, with the window tinting. I have a friend who's actually a family relative or something down in Miami that does window tinting. He's been doing this for years and decades. Name is Jesse, and I called him this morning, and I said, what's the good tinting? He says, by far, the nano ceramic tinting is the way to go. And I said, well, just out of curiosity, what type of price is it? He says, well, most of the dealers are getting up to $1,000 or more for it.
Wow.
Their dealership, they charge $250. So I don't know if you want a phone number, if they would have checked down there or something, I don't know. But they are out there. I mean, that's a little bit of a drive. I guess while you're getting your car tinted, you can go, have a Cuban coffee and a sandwich or something like that. But I'll give you a number, and if I may.
Oh, please do, yeah.
I'll text it to you, too. It's area code 305-781-5954. And I told him, I said, well, you're going to be on Earl and Nancy Stewart, so if they call him and say they heard this on Nancy and Earl Stewart's show, he will do it for $250.
Yeah, give that number again, please.
Yes, sir. It's 305-781-5954.
And what's the name of his shop?
His name is Jesse. I don't know the name of the shop. I was going to call him back, and I said, well, no, I'm on hold. So I'm on hold. I'll try and call him back and text it to you on the cell
Did
number.
you say his name was Jesse?
Jesse, yes. So I don't know if the shop is called Jesse but he did it for his sister, who is my daughter-in-law, on a Honda Ridgeline, and it is stunning. The workmanship, the craftsmanship, the tint, and it's a white Ridgeline. So, and like he said, he can go different degrees, 15 in the back if you need or something like that. But he can keep it right within the legal limits, whatever you all want.
Frank, where's that located?
Nice.
It's in Miami. It's in Miami. It's up near, actually, North Miami. I think off near 163rd Street.
Okay.
But, like I said, when we hang up, I'll call him back. Get the name of that shop. That number is his work number, and I'll text it to you on the normal 772 phone number.
Yeah, great. Because if you send me that shop name, we'll definitely announce him on the air. Give him some some little publicity, little free publicity there.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, no, he's a very nice young man, and he said, "Well, bring your." We just, as you probably heard, I got myself a Mercedes SL 63, and he said, "Well, come and tint your windows." I said, "It came with tint."
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. And as one last thing, I know you guys would like to have a Lexus dealership, and I don't mean any disrespect.
Boy, oh boy.
But we have a Lexus that we bought just last year. So we went in for the first oil change 2 days ago. They're on Okeechobee. Very nice people, but they have about half the cars in the dealership. There's hardly anything out front. It's like a ghost town. The people in getting service work done was probably 12 people. I'm not sure what's going on. I know you know the lady owns it. And so I don't know if they're suffering or having a problem, or they just I mean, the showroom is like almost.
Well, that's very interesting. You know, the biggest Lexus dealer in the world is JM Lexus. I think they're in Coconut Creek, Fort Lauderdale area. And they are huge, and they run extremely well. They were originally owned by Jim Moran, who was the Toyota distributor, and now his estate owns Southeast Toyota. So that is an incredible Toyota dealership. Lexus dealership. So if you're thinking about buying a Lexus and you can drive to Coconut Creek, JM Lexus, they have a dealer fee, one junk fee, but it's about $500, which in Florida is cheap. But they treat you right. They're honest, and they are busy because of the way they treat people. So you mentioned the Palm Beach Lexus isn't doing too well. JM Lexus is doing quite well.
Yeah, I mean, Anne-Marie had Lexus beforehand, and while I was still under warranty, she would take it there. Then she, of course, found you guys and Randy as your tech, and it was never to go back there again. But even the time we stopped in there one time, they had a nice coffee maker. The lady behind there was cooking fresh stuff. And now they have a coffee maker that has regular coffee, decaf, and espresso. That's it, and all the other buttons don't work. There are no more fresh stuff cooked. It's just some few bagels wrapped up in plastic sitting on the counter. It's definitely changing, and why and how, I don't know why.
Probably a new owner, probably.
Possibly that may be very well.
Yeah,
I know that. But anyway, yeah, I'll definitely text you the address. And the one name I realized that Rick was looking at. Do you remember a guy real quick, Roy Rude? I think he lived in your neighborhood back line. Remember that name by chance?
I don't.
No.
Okay, not to worry. He was very instrumental, him and his prayer breakfast group at Lighthouse Diner 15 years ago. I had over radiation for cancer. Well, I'll tell you real quick about cancer. But anyway, through their power of prayer, I found a doctor in Chicago that saved my life. And Roy Rude was a very unique individual.
Wow.
But back with the cancer real quick. Being a pilot.
Yeah.
If you're a captain a lot, you're going to have cancer on the left side. If you're a co-pilot, you're going to have the cancer on the right side. Yeah. Actually, the foreign airlines have a meter because now you're at 40,000 feet. Down here at sea level, the atmosphere protects you a whole lot better than when you're at 40,000 feet. The sun coming through the glass windows in the cockpit.
Never thought about that. Yeah. Well, thanks very much for the call. That was some interesting information. We really appreciate it.
Thank you,
I'll
John.
let you get back to the other.
Our friend. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you too. Thanks. I like that. Bye-bye.
You're quite welcome. Have a great weekend, Frank. We're going to go to Christine in Lake Worth. Good morning, Christine.
Good morning, Nancy and Earl and Rick. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day, Christine. Thanks for calling back.
Thanks, sweetheart.
Hi, honey. I have a question regarding headlights.
Okay.
When the vehicles come in straight from the manufacturer, are the headlights are they aimed properly then, or is this something that you all check to make sure they're aimed properly? Or is it just when people are getting their headlights changed, that there's an issue that they're just
should be
so many that are misaimed.
Well, unfortunately,
that's
it's
one
not
of the reasons why I hate driving at night.
Yeah, it's not so much that the headlights are misaimed anymore. It's that for some reason, manufacturers have all gone to the LED headlights, those bright white LED headlights, and they have them aimed properly, but these things light up so much of an area vertically in front of the car that now it just glares in mirrors like crazy and right into your eyeballs when they're oncoming traffic. And then you get the guys with trucks who the first thing they do is raise them up or put bigger tires. They put lift kits. And of course, those headlights then are literally aimed right into the glass of the car. And none of them re-aim the headlights to bring them down lower. It's a drawback to the new technology of these LED headlights. And I agree, they're abusive on your eyes at night.
Chris, also, do you know that even hitting a pothole can change aesthetically everything. And there's curb bumps. There's just so much out there. Some of your front end repairs. So this is a great question.
I mean, it seems like when you get your vehicle in, for maintenance, I wish that was one of the things that was included, but of course that's not. But anyway, I'm just being silly, I guess. It's just one of my pet peeves.
No, you can ask that. And as far as your question, when a car comes from the manufacturer, remember, cars don't just get dropped by helicopter perfectly. These cars come a long way. They can come from out of the country. They're on trucks. They're on trains. They're driven. And a lot of things can happen to a car between the time it hits the dealer showroom. So the manufacturers sometimes are a little bit nervous about fixing a car under warranty that just came in from the factory. And dealers often are chastised for aligning cars that are out of alignment because the manufacturer says, oh, we just built that car. The car can't be out of alignment. Well, let me tell you something. You get on and off a train, on and off a truck, and somebody's driving the car. Also, there's a lot of ways they can be out of alignment. So when you have a new car, it's not a bad idea to have those things checked before you take delivery.
These small changes affect them, Christine. And boy, what a great question that you asked. There's probably our listeners out there that were afraid to ask that question because it sounds so, I don't know, trivial. But when you think about it, you give it a lot of thought. When you hit a pothole, you hit a curb, there's these small changes, they affect the headlights.
And it's bad enough you've got these people that, I only have one headlight working, so let me put my lights on high beam so that I'll have two lights.
Oh, boy.
Oh.
That's not a good idea.
If I was tall enough, I'd kick them in the butt, but I'm one of them short women, so I wouldn't be able to reach.
Yeah. Just a few degrees off, it can blind other drivers.
Oh.
And when you're throwing your high beam on, not a good idea.
Yep.
No,
Christine,
that's a pet peeve of mine.
thank you so much for the call, and all of us here wish you a happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Give us a call again. Have a great weekend.
Just so nobody thinks I was getting too fresh with callers there, that's actually my wife.
We know your type.
Aw, what can I say?
He's in love with Christine.
24 years married.
That's it. 24.
Yep.
What do you think about Earl and I? 40 years.
Wow.
40 years. Yo.
We're catching you.
Hey, Valentine. Are you going to be my Valentine?
Absolutely.
Are you? Okay. I'm going to take that. I want that in writing.
By the way, Tom Steckel here says that JM Lexus.
Oh, thank you.
Has a 59 according to their website, has a $59 electronic filing fee, but no other dealer fees.
Who is that?
JM Lexus. So Tom Steckel on YouTube, he checked their website. He says JM Lexus right now on their website is showing they only have a $59 electronic filing fee.
Interesting.
So-
They must have just changed that.
Yeah.
Because I've been criticizing them privately and so occasionally publicly for a long time. I mean, I've always said that JM Lexus is arguably one of the best dealerships in the world, and they were charging a $500 dealer fee, and now maybe they did stop it.
That would be great. I mean, $59. Even
it's
that
still a junk
sounds,
fee.
it sounds like nickels when you're talking about cars.
Yeah.
Like the average Lexus now is, I think the lowest Lexus $45,000, 50 maybe. So it sounds like a nickel, but it's still. But to do away with the $500 dealer fee, if they've done that, kudos to JM Lexus.
Absolutely.
I mean, hey, good for them.
I'm gonna check that out on ChatGPT.
Nice, yeah. Always double check.
And your source, he's a regular. He's on with you
Tom
every
is
week.
here every week.
Every
Yep.
week. Yeah. Okay. I think that we're getting to the bewitching hour, and we need to get to the mystery shopping report. Remember, you can vote on the mystery shopping report at 772-497-6530.
And real quick, that window tint that we were talking about, the fellow in Miami from Frank, he says it is CJ Window Tinting in Miami. And that phone number again is 305-781-5954. And that's CJ Window Tinting down in Miami.
CJ
So
Window
CJ,
Tinting.
Charlie James. Phonetically it is, but
And that's Jesse. He's
Yep.
in Miami at 63rd Street.
yep. So if you're looking to get window tinting done, give Jesse a call down at CJ Window Tinting, 305-781-5954. And according to Frank, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, and Tricia, she gave us a great source, so now we have two.
Absolutely.
And there's not a day that goes by I don't get asked, where can I find a good mechanic that I can trust? We're going to go to the mystery shopping report, and the mystery shopping report is from Gilbert Chevrolet on that's Okeechobee, Florida, I believe. That's our mystery shop. You're going to enjoy it. We want you to vote. You're an important part of the mystery shopping report. Huge. Take advantage of 772-497-6530. 772-497-6530. Earl?
Yeah, the Okeechobee. A lot of people listening that are not familiar with Florida, they probably heard of Lake Okeechobee. It's a huge freshwater lake in southern Florida, and the area around there is all rural, and Lake Gilbert Chevrolet in Okeechobee is a little bitty dealership, and we like to shop small dealerships because usually they're kinder is the best word, and we'll see. Mystery shop, Gilbert Chevrolet, Okeechobee, Florida. That's in South Florida, but in the middle of the state, right around the lake, the big freshwater lake. I'll be speaking in the first person as if I were Agent Lightning, our crack undercover agent that does all of our mystery shopping reports. I arrived in the early afternoon, and when I walked through the door, I was greeted by a man who said he was the general manager. That's a small dealership when you're greeted by the general manager. He asked if he could help me with anything today. I replied, I'd like to see some numbers on that new Chevy Thrax, Thrax. Where do they get these names? ACTIV, out front, the black one. Thrax Active, the black one. He said, well, I can do that for you, and motioned for Delilah to come up over and show me the car. So now we've got a salesperson involved. Delilah was young. She was very nice. We walked out to the car, but it was locked. Happens all the time, doesn't it, on these mystery shopping reports. At my dealership, too, as a matter of fact. The Monroney label was in the correct place, and the MSRP was $27,990. Now, you regular listeners will know that it's almost impossible to find a Maroni label in the right place in South Florida. They hide them. It's absolutely incredible how the dealers in South Florida disrespect and pay no attention to the federal law that says that you must display the Maroni label on the window of the car. But here, that's a good note for Gilbert Chevrolet in Okeechobee. It was where it was supposed to be. Just then, an older salesperson named Tommy came running out and sent the salesperson back in. That was Delilah. He approached me, said hello, asked me where my car accident happened. Confused, I said, I wasn't in an accident. He said, oh, I'm sorry. I was just on the phone and expecting someone looking for that same Trax, T-R-A-X. So I assumed you were her. Once he figured out what happened, Tommy called over to Delilah, asked her if she wanted me to send me back over to her. So they were playing the up system, meaning the first person that contacts the prospect, this potential customer, owns that in terms of the commission. Delilah yelled back, no, you can help her. I've got some work to do. Okay. Tommy and I went back inside, sat at his desk. He gathered my information for his system, then printed out something and said he'd be right back because he was going to run some numbers with the general manager. As he walked away, a lady came in asking for him. He told her he'd be back with her momentarily and that he was finishing up with a customer who was looking at the same exact vehicle. He then told her the story about mistaking her for me. So, confusion, which is not unusual in car dealerships. This was taking an annoyingly long time. I walked up front to wait for him and saw the lady was standing there also waiting for him to come back. Finally, Tommy returned with a worksheet from his general manager. I inspected it myself at the reception desk. The top line was MSRP, $27,990. There was no discount. They added $1,096 in unitemized fees. That's a mouthful for you-know-what, junk fees. A message written in black Sharpie pen let me know the bottom line of $30,819 did not include title and tag. No, those are legitimate. That's government fees. I asked Tommy if they were offering any discounts or special financing. He asked, this is typical, he asked if I was a first responder, a fireman or policeman or something like that, or military. I said, no. I said, what about Costco pricing? He said he'd have to check on that and could text me after he helped the lady who had come in. So they were busy for a small dealership. He didn't have my correct phone number, so I don't know whether he ever did try to call me or not. And that was his fault, of course. Maybe someone did. So there you have it. The mystery shopping report.
Did she say maybe someone did? There was a lot of confusion in that dealership.
Maybe somebody called, right? So Gilbert Chevrolet in the little town of Okeechobee, Florida. We have a score from ChatGPT. He also read the report. And we have our individual scores here in the show, in the studio. We would like you to grade on the curve. I know a lot of people don't like to do that, but we don't like A's because there really aren't too many of them. And if you're feeling warm and fuzzy, you give somebody an A, it's misleading. But if you have to, we accept the score. F, same way. We don't like Fs, but I actually gave a dealership an F a week or two ago. So Fs do exist, and A's do too. but try to keep it on the curve because we want to be sure that we have dealers somewhere on our recommended list if you want to buy a car. A is perfection, and we know that doesn't exist. F is the worst of the worst. Sadly, I guess that does exist. Use your own judgment. And then we'll get back finally to the ChatGPT's grade, and we'll check with Rick first, and then we'll go to Nancy, and we'll see what the grades are looking like. Rick?
All righty, let's see what we've got online here. Joseph Kelleher says D, grading on the curve. Tim Gilliland says the mystery fees earned him a C. Tom Steckel says D+, no transparency on fees. Compare Greenwood Chevy and Lake Mead, $450 fees, or West Haney Chevrolet Live Oak, no fees. And he also says Fort Meade is Greenwood Chevrolet. Brian Sedlatko says, I'll call you back with a price. Huh? D. Mark H. says, not transparent, a little greed. The bums rush out the door, C-. Graham 1624 says, too much confusion, D. Tommy needed to pay attention to Agent Lightning. Also spell out the junk fees.
Yeah.
Over here we've got South Florida Two-Step says, non-itemized fee? So he's helping two customers at the same time, too? I don't like it. No discount, incorrect customer info, D. And let's see if we got anything has come up in the text messages here. We have, okay, sorry. There we go, okay. Bob from Maryland says, it's not an A for Gilbert Chevrolet on Valentine's Day. How about an F?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, Bob did not like them.
Boom.
Jonathan in Palm Coast says, Gilbert Chevrolet gets a D- from me. An annoyingly long wait time is unacceptable, as are unknown fees, which can be anything the dealership wants it to be. And mass confusion doesn't play out well when you're ready to invest a great deal of money on a vehicle. Not a good experience, very unprofessional. And double check, see if anything else came in. Johnny C. Fradley says, take the Beeline Highway away, D. T. Cash says, D. Why not just buy a Hyundai Kona for the same thing? Myself, I'm seeing a D because I'm seeing a disinterested salesperson here.
Yeah, it's we'll read the ChatGPT in a minute after we get Nancy's score, but the dealers are so bad generally for being stupid. I tend to punish them more for being dishonest. This dealership was just stupid, but I don't want to prejudice anybody else who hasn't voted yet. Nancy, what do you say?
I'm still laughing because I was thinking about when I lived in Pittsburgh and we had a produce peddler who came through the neighborhood, also called, a huckster. So when whomever, was it Tommy, screamed, hey, Delilah, where did he think he was? It sounds just a tad unprofessional, very unorganized, and big red flag. All these unitemized fees. I'm sorry. I give them an F.
Oh, boy. Okay, ChatGPT also gave him an F. And it's funny because ChatGPT, for a long while, was grading too high.
Gave him a what?
An F.
Oh.
Well, 62. I mean, that's an F. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
No matter which way you slice it.
Yeah. I'm gonna give him a D. I'd even give him a D+. Again, I don't like to give Fs or even really bad grades to anybody except crooks. And as I say, they were more stupid here than they were crooked. A combination of both. So I'm going to make it a D+
You are?
And it was just they were so far into the rural part of Florida that they weren't really crooks.
You give them a pass.
I give them a D+.
Or do you think because the Moroni label was evident, it was right there,
Yeah.
you could see that.
Yeah.
There were some pluses, but there wasn't enough pluses for me
Yeah.
to give him what you gave him. You're a kind man.
Yeah.
I just didn't see any horse trading going on there.
Yeah, that's right. It could have
I
been-
mean,
they should have at least. Rural, right? I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
As a matter, have you ever been to Okeechobee, driven through that city?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
There were quite a few times I've driven up to Polk County to visit relatives, and we'd stop at Okeechobee, and in the center of the city there's this very nice little park with like big old military pieces in the center of it.
They got great restaurants out there.
There's
Great
a little
restaurants.
diner right next to that park, just this tiny hole in the wall that has some of the best food you've ever had in your life.
Yeah, they have
Do you
good-
remember the name of it?
I think it was just the Okeechobee Diner.
Yeah?
And
Where
just
did we eat?
simple,
I can't
small
think.
place.
The place we ate had frog legs.
Oh, we had
they
gator-
had gator tails.
we had-
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And that probably was sourced right out of their backyard almost. I
Yeah.
mean, it's
True.
yeah.
True.
We got a little bit of time left, and I wanted to.
Excuse me for a second. I've never done this. Never. But bringing to mind where they were, Okeechobee, thinking about us driving, through Okeechobee and the mindset there. I guess this is acceptable. Tommy screaming for Delilah and all this loose ends. I'm going to change my grade from an F to a D minus.
Oh, well, that was very kind of you. Very kind of you.
Well,
A point I was going to make for people that are thinking about the future of automotive, and I know people are more interested in what's happening today, but this was an automotive news, and it really surprised me. So here's something. Does this surprise you? Volkswagen. Now, Volkswagen is the second largest manufacturer. They sell more cars, make more cars than anybody except Toyota. They are huge. As John from Palm City would say, you better sit down for this one.
oh, yeah?
Volkswagen, headlines in automotive news. Volkswagen aims to make the majority of its cars in China on new architecture by 2030. Here it is. I never thought I would say this. Volkswagen, a German company, will be building most of its cars in China before much longer. I mean, folks, this is 2026, and they'll be building most of their cars in China by 2030. So if that's going to be something we see with Volkswagen, it's going to be happening with a lot of other countries. So
2030.
get used to it. If you're a made in America guy, and there are a lot of you out there that listen to this show, and there's nothing wrong with that, by the way, but the world, the times, they are changing. And if you're driving a vehicle that isn't manufactured by someone like Volkswagen or Toyota, and there are a few other makes that are strong and will be around for a while, maybe 4 or 5. But if you're driving a car that's relatively manufactured, that's new on the scene, they probably won't be around in 10 years. So be careful when you select your next manufacturer.
You just can't get that kind of information anywhere.
Yeah.
Except Earl Stewart on cars. That was amazing.
It is. And
That was it. And I have the automotive news in front of me, and I saw that. Wouldn't it be great if this was, available to the public? 2030.
Yeah.
And for people like you
it's
said,
4 years away.
yeah,
Yeah.
who want to buy. I want America. I want. Things are changing, folks.
Even the dealers are thinking about it, and the dealers are looking now at cost, because you can't sell somebody an economy car and charge them $100,000. And so the cost of these Chinese cars now and the quality, whether you think that this is unpatriotic or not, they are a real competitor. And if you got to buy a car, you got to buy a car.
True.
Okay.
True. But staying up on the latest news, and
Do we have any
sometimes
text that we might want to cover before?
We have Anne Marie's here that I'd love
good.
to go.
Got to do
she
that.
probably has something more important than I have.
She says, Happy Valentine's Day. Today's vehicles are technological marvels and are amazing, but they don't necessarily steal one's heart. Yes, the new cars are wonderful, but what about cars from days long ago? Antique Car Exhibition showcases lots of vehicles that remind us of why we fell in love with cars in the first place. Do you have a lingering fondness for a long-gone brand or car, such as a Duesenberg, it's a doozy, or a Stanley Steamer, or a Tucker, or maybe a Studebaker Avanti?
It was funny, you mentioned Stanley Steamer. My father, he was born in 1892. When I was a kid, he used to tell me that the Stanley Steamer was the best car ever built. And I think at the time, it was amazing because of his acceleration. It was a little bit like an electric vehicle, and the fact that it was startlingly powerful compared to a gasoline car.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've read about the old steamers, and they were outrageous.
Yeah.
But boy, were they a handful to drive.
Yeah, and then you had to stop and fill them up a lot.
Yep.
With water.
So what is your, if just an old classic, a car that you knew was recognizable? What was your favorite, Earl?
Well, it was the Pontiac GTO. They had one called the Judge. It had 4 on the floor, stick shift, 4 on the floor, and it had dual 4-bearer carburetors, and it probably would do 0 to 60 in close to 6 seconds.
How about you, Nancy? What was yours?
I didn't drive.
Not your Barracuda?
I was much older, but to that reminder, yes, my Barracuda was close and very dear to my heart. Folks, just a friendly reminder, cars today are more complicated than ever, but good advice, it shouldn't be, and that's why we're right here taking care of you like you're taking care of us. We exchange information for 2 hours. So from us here at Earl Stewart on Cars, we wish you a day of love, a weekend of love. Happy Valentine's Day. We'll be right back here next week, the Oldies Channel at 8 a.m.
Then came satellite number 1, covering Port St. Lucie and Martin County on 106.9 FM. And then came satellite number 3.